the first time we spoke, you said you felt tired, and there was that little calf, and then it flared up in the beginning of this year, and then you had this hill training in June. So we can talk about that, and then of course talk a little bit about the strategy we are now choosing to kind of get you back. So that's basically what I wanted to do.
I think with respect to other people, I have to work very hard to keep up. But I think I'm just kind of average, and I've always kept myself fit. With respect to the terrain here, and actually anywhere I've been in Calgary, it's always been mountainous or hilly. When I used to compete in New Zealand, that was flat, and I really liked the flat. I did fine on the flat, but on the hills I really have trouble going up and down. I like when I'm cycling or even running. I think if I can just be on a constant gradient, that's much better for me. Our training efforts together are more in terms of longevity training than performance training. I
Right
should
now,
say that.
absolutely, yes,
Okay.
yes, I
And
agree.
and 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 Baz, I'm happy, I mean, you guys give me motivation, because otherwise, if a person is just training with no event in mind, it's hard to keep motivated.
Yeah, yeah, and but that's the reason why we are already starting a little bit, you and I, on the calls to start thinking about working towards something maybe early next year. Because that's so motivational. If you have an event, although it can even be just a 15k trail run somewhere, or in spring or something like that. So I fully support it. If you would want to do that, then of course we are going to work towards that.
So we've got spectacular back roads here, which is very quiet, traffic wise, and nice rolling hills and some big climbs. So we're situated up a hill. So if I'm going to go on the road bike, I have to go down the hill. So I have no choice in the matter. So I always have to do some climbing. So that's always hard work. And on the mountain bike from here, I have to go out and up a hill to get anywhere. So it's always hard work. There's never really anything that's easy. um, Getting old is a new experience for everyone, because no one's been old before. Very obvious thing to say, but I think it's kind of interesting, because we all, and I would say something else, that aging for me it doesn't seem to happen every year. It's just like maybe every 5 or 7 years I notice that something has changed, obviously.
Sure.
But I would say for myself, and I don't know how it is for you guys, for yourself in your brain, you go, well, I did this last year, or I did this whatever. I can still do it. You don't think to yourself, oh, maybe I can't do this anymore. So, I should say that this was probably a learning for me, that I was getting all enthusiastic to do all these different things, and really I should have said, hey, you're old, you can't just start jumping around like this. You should think twice before you do something like this, right?
I mean, everybody has their challenges physically. Sometimes it's mentally, sometimes it's even hormonal, and I think if we stay on the right track and we keep doing what we're doing, and we are and you agree to that we keep on adding small bits and pieces, every time a little bit more, then I really don't see any reason why we wouldn't be trail running, let's say spring next year.
Yeah, no, fingers crossed. Let's see. As I say, I'm going into the unknown as I start getting into as I'm in my 70th year approaching. It's an unknown quantity. So we'll see what happens. But you know, it's fine. I enjoy the challenge, and you know, lots of patience and all the rest, and see what happens. All good.
Yeah, and the patient will, I mean, it will be a reward, Brian, because the patience to give yourself, the body the time to heal, what we speak so much about, all the tendons and all these little complex things that are happening around your ankle and your Achilles and your calf. If you give it the time, you're a strong guy. So it will probably heal. And then we can slowly increase the load and the time, the load over time, which is the power. So yeah, hopefully you'll be box jumping again in maybe half a year from now. I mean really, if we build it slow, then why not?
Yeah, no, I mean, everything's fun, and I'm open-minded and willing to give it a go. But certainly, I say to myself now before I do anything, I ask the question, is this a good idea?
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with you saying that, because that's so different from what what you did is like, just, hey, I feel good, let's just run up that hill and then push it and then lengthen your stride and jump and everything, and then you're disappointed again, because of course the body can't stand it.
If I ever want to get back into form, I'm going to have to behave myself. But you know, my background is you either on or you're off. There's nothing in between. So that's the problem. In New Zealand, they used to say, "Go hard or go home." Then, and if you're complaining, they say, "Drink a cup of concrete." Competing with yourself. So it's just normal for me that, and that's actually an enjoyment, is to go hard. We were talking about doing something easy just for fun, but maybe that's not fun for me. Maybe that takes the enjoyment away. So right now, it's just a matter of patience and see if I can get back to a place where I can run hard again.
If you compare it where we are right now, what you do, the program we have right now with the training and the mountain biking and the running along the river, well, maybe you can talk a little bit about it. What kind of is what you can do right now? What's kind of, we're talking about training load, right? So what we define together and how you cope with it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to give you some kudos, Baz, because for me, I'm probably impatient and wanting to get back on the road, and I think, I'm just going to take a rest for a couple of weeks and then I'm going to get back at it. And of course, it never worked. So you were really a good anchor for me to explain to me that I have to behave myself, and I have to run very short only, and I have to build it up very carefully, and so on and so on. So I give you full marks for coaching and allowing me to progress. And of course, going from limping along for 3 kilometers to running, not running, but jogging, a comfortable 8 kilometers, that's a very good progress. So fingers crossed, and we'll see if we can make the next step forward.
Now, of course, you're not the only one, Brian, because we have had on the highest level competitive students on the program as well. And Marlies actually has been there, and which basically the reason why we have the 9 mile program, that basically the program we advertise with, only 9 miles of running and you still finish your marathon strong and things. And that is based on experiences we have. I mean, Marlies, with your training groups you had in the past and the way they were training, it's basically the same story as Brian is telling us.
Yeah, same story with going hard, and people wanted to just go all in, and then if they feel fatigued and their muscles hurt and the heart rate is high, then they feel that they did well. That was kind of the main focus on almost every training. And yeah, the result is most of the time that you lose half of the people preparing for a marathon or a big event, because they get injured, they get depleted, they get too fatigued, so they get into trouble. So that is it's not the way to go. And as you age, the chances that this is going to happen is even bigger. So you have to have a different approach, not only physically but also mentally. And that, I think, is the hardest part for us as age groupers who are quite competitive and know that from the past. I'm one of them, but now I know better, that there are different strategies, and you experience it yourself now, to kind of hold back a little and give yourself different impulses and different focus, and teach yourself and talk to yourself and say, okay, today I can take it easy. Tomorrow I will go faster. I will do an interval training. I will push harder, recover from it, and then do another kind of training. But you have to kind of balance out the different impulses and define for yourself, oh, this is an easy day and tomorrow will be a hard day and the day after is a recovery day. And that way you have more consistency in your trainings, and then the end result is that you're able to perform well on a good level, instead of 2 steps going in the right direction and 1 step back. That's what happens if you go all the way, like the what you said, go hard or go home. And that's of course not the way to go anymore. So yeah, I'm very pleased to see that you do it now. You train step by step, have a solid base, and go from there, and that you have the patience. And I know it's hard to go that way, and in the end you will know it's very beneficial, has been very beneficial for you. And I think that's for many of us the way to go, and that's why we developed this program, for sure. Yeah, strength training, nutrition, a big chapter as well, also something to look at, running. Yeah, there's a lot that we work on. It's not just one thing. It's a lot of aspects, a lot of things together that make you a better athlete.
For me, it will be great if I actually can and am able to overcome the tendon weaknesses and this kind of thing, and be able to stretch out my legs and not having any problems. That'd be great. I've never really got onto a disciplined approach, but I know in the back of my mind that it's if I don't do it now, it's going to be a problem. I'm certainly going to lose key elements of strength, and that's very important. I totally agree. But as I say, I need to figure out a very specific program to keep me focused.
Yeah, and what about the idea, Brian, to look abroad for a gym or so, for where that you meet people and do a particular workout with an instructor together?
I mean, in theory, yes, but in practice, I mean, I live out here in the backcountry for a good reason, and that's because I like the solitary situation.
Yeah.
So driving into town, it's like, I try and avoid it,
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of different. But I said to Baz, that working with you guys is a good interaction, and that's almost like the same thing, because then I have to report back, so I feel like I
Yeah.
have to do it,
Yeah. That's
Yes,
great. I
that's
love to hear that.
that's called accountability. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not, it's not pressuring you, it's not enforcing you, but you still feel like, hey, I have this next meeting with Bas, and we agreed on something, and these guys are looking after me, so I have to deliver a little bit in order to have a good call. So I know, and we have lots of fun, Brian. Don't forget that, because that's also part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
that's
so
it. So
yeah,
it's a good group effort, and that's the way it is, right?
absolutely, and it is exactly. It's a group effort.
Yeah.
For sure, it's a team, and with all the things you are saying, even in the interview we had right now, you're saying new things that we as coaches can further help and define strategies for you that have the biggest chance of making you, I mean, happy again, and that you can do everything. So yeah, I want to thank you for all the answers. You, in the beginning of the call, you said, hey, there's not so much to tell, but you see there's lots to share. And I want to thank you for that, for your time and everything. I really appreciate. We will meet again. I think you already have scheduled the next call. We go over all the things we discussed, and it may be helpful for you if you have self-knowledge by saying, hey, discipline is not maybe not the biggest my biggest strength. So why not hand over a bit of the discipline for building a program and actually executing a strength program, and utilize people in a town and join a little bit there, so that you have the same kind of, hey, I can just go there and do it, and they make the program for me, and I can just execute it